Yeah, did I
Looking
tell
good.
you? So, in the backyard, I've got all these bushes, and that snowstorm killed them all. So for the last like day, I trimmed all that, and then I
Nice.
it filled 10 like large bags. But my yard looks way bigger. But now, so before this, there was like a foot of bush that like animals could be in that I couldn't see.
Uh-huh.
And so like the wrens and stuff, but that's why I'm seeing so many birds all of a sudden is because they can't hide.
Jeez. That's crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I've been trying to do some yard work today too. I got some of it done. It's funny. I tried to keep all of my plants that I had in the aviary from last year. Like I had them inside the bird shed all winter long, and I pulled them outside last week, and I forgot to bring them in one night, and it
Hey,
was the
Dean.
night it got cold, and it just killed them
Smoked them
all.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I just wasted a whole winter trying to keep these plants alive for nothing. But Dean,
I,
welcome live from coming from the UK. Thanks, man.
we got quite a few people in here. I don't think we can see them unless they comment. Um,
Yeah, those that are in, let us know who you are,
yeah,
where you're
check
from.
in.
Yeah, we're super excited. We Jay and I decided to do another live since it's been a while. Since we didn't get to any of our podcast filming this week, so we figured we'd compensate with a quick
We're
live. So
having a whole bunch of stuff. We're having technical difficulties, baby births, not ours, but um, tangential that we had to be involved in, and
yep,
hey, Abdul, and
cool.
all kinds of stuff. And actually, it's supposed to be storming here right now. I don't know if you can see the
Yeah, a little overcast. Yeah,
in the wind there, but it hasn't hit yet. And my wife's got all the kids out playing in the neighborhood, so I figured that would be a
nice.
good time. And if it starts to rain, I'll just go in the aviary. But
It's nice to see some leaves on the trees, Jay. We're starting to get some blossoms with spring coming, but
we are
that's uh that's my favorite part of spring and summer is actually seeing green leaves on the trees. It's
South
nice.
Australia and Lebanon. Amazing.
We're hitting the four corners of the earth here, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining.
Wow. Um, yeah, I've got no, I mean it's full on spring here. Like everything's covered in pollen. I just cleaned my yard, but if I mean I don't know if you can see it on camera, but like this is a gray hose and right now it's pretty yellow.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to bother the birds except for Einstein. Einstein does get he has like a little allergy thing. He does get a
Oh,
stuffy
really?
nose. Yeah, here you can see it. I'll show you.
Wow. That's
I'll
that's
go get
crazy.
him.
I haven't dared bring Candy outside yet. I mean, she is fully flighted. I haven't ever seen her fly yet, so I don't know if she'd really fly away. But I don't want to take the
Yeah,
chance yet. But
Einstein. I don't know if he'll ever really be able to fly, but you see right here this staining on his
uh
cere.
huh. Yeah.
That's from
Yeah.
having a runny nose. Yeah, from pollen.
That's
But
crazy.
I checked it with the vet. They're like, yeah, he's fine. Like, if you really want, you can put him on some kind of like antihistamine or whatever, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him. So I
Yeah.
um I don't worry about him flying away. Like he's not. If I like throw him into the air, he just lands. They can't gain
Gotcha.
altitude. And I mean, we're working on it. I'd like to get there, but I do worry about like a bird of prey.
Right.
I've got these trees like right here and then the
Yeah.
woods. And I've had, I mean, that's what these spikes right here are for. And on top of the swing set is to deter big birds from landing. And I've got a
Yep.
fake owl. Never talk about this stuff. I should show people this stuff, but I got a fake owl right here that I move around.
Hey, that's funny you say that. I've got a. Let me hop out.
Mm.
There's my fake owl.
Yeah, the
I moved that around
Bahamas.
too. So
Yeah, SD birdies, I know you. San Diego's not as cool as I thought it was. And a year ago, I would have been like, "Oh man, other side of the country, got other side of the world now."
I do
SD
love San
birdies
Diego's
has,
weather, though. I'll take your weather any day.
yeah, one of my best friends lives there, but SD birdies he's got really good paired finches. We
Awesome.
probably need to get him on the channel at some point. He's got like
Yeah,
incredible pods and all kinds of cool stuff. He's
I love
got like
that. Let's do it.
Latino pods and cool stuff. Does the
I
owl
need some. I
work,
need some female
Abdul?
parrot finches, SD birdies. I've got like 5 males and 2 females. So
Yeah, you do need some females. Abdul, the owl does kind of work. If you leave it in one place, it doesn't work as well. Mine's a bobblehead too. But so what I do is every couple of
I'll
days
show
I
you while
move it.
Jay's talking.
Yeah, like that. Yes, but every couple of days I move it so that it looks like it's alive. So I don't think it works as well as me sitting out here making noises in the middle of the night, but it's better than nothing.
I'm gonna let you guys see the aviary while we're all chatting. And these are
Yeah,
my dead plants that
gosh.
I talked about, Jay. Just
RIP. Yeah, I mean,
go over
I've
here.
got my one plant, but I secretly just replace it every 6 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I've got there was a guy that I got some birds from earlier this year, and his whole front yard has some bamboo, and it looked awesome. And I was like, there's not very many strains of bamboo that can withstand Utah's cold winters. And so I asked him where he got it from. I'm gonna that like to try and eat my birds.
Yeah.
So basically, do a big wall of bamboo along the
Northern
side there, and I'll
Ireland.
just do it in potted. I'll just do it in pots so that it doesn't spread and my neighbors kill me.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say you got to
Peter,
be
yeah, thanks for
careful. We
joining
have,
Island.
if you can't see it, but on the other side of my wall here is a creek, and there's like river cane, which is a kind of bamboo, and that stuff grows like crazy. It can grow like a foot a day in some cases.
Yeah,
And you can't get rid of it, even if you cut it all back down, it'll come right back. But yeah, the bird. I don't know if you can see my birds super well. I got a bunch of Gouldians hanging out right here, and one of my masks. Yeah, and I told Chris this earlier, everyone, but I had a pair of I gotta zoom back out. It's just the top of my forehead is all you get. I had a pair of northern cardinals in the yard today. And Chris really loves them, and they're not native to Utah, so I always make him jealous and show him my cardinals. And it's the same
yeah, I
one.
love.
If there's some people here that have followed me for a couple of years, and I had this cardinal that would always try to fight my wife's car. He would fight his own reflection, and he didn't have a mate. And I think he was just really like sexually frustrated. And he would
Yeah.
fight his reflection in my wife's windows or in her mirrors. Well, he has a mate. He has a mate now. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
oh, that's right. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't get her on camera. I tried to, but she was kind of hidden from when I tried to walk outside. They just flew up over the wall. Um,
Nice.
but I'm pretty stoked for him. I know, it's tough to find the right lady, so I'm happy you did. What about you?
So Jay, that canary that you sent me last year, she is kicking butt for me this year, dude. So these are her 4 chicks that have weaned. They've got just a couple more days, and then they're going to be going out into the big aviary. And
Awesome.
then here's her and her. There's the male down there, and here's her.
Yeah.
She just
You
hatched
know,
4 more chicks this week.
Chris,
Yeah,
you're gonna be bummed because you asked me the other day if I needed anything else. Chris and I are about to do another bird exchange, and I need a hen canary real bad. I kind of forgot, but there they are. Hey, mama. I need a hen canary real bad, so we got to talk about that after we record.
yeah. Let's do it,
Forgot.
man.
Or no, not a hen. I need a male. I'm getting
Oh, a
thrown off
male,
because
even better. I have males.
okay,
I've got
even
more
better
males than
because
females.
I forgot here's an interesting thing, and maybe somebody who will watch this will know more about it than me. Maybe Chris, you're better at canaries than me. So I've got a hen in here, and we may hear her. She never sang. She's definitely a hen. She's proven. She never sang. She's never she's definitely female, I guess is all I'm trying to say. And her mate, I lost her mate. He had like an accident, broke his leg, and I tried to have him live as an amputee, and he just didn't make it.
Uh-huh.
And now she sings. So with the absence of a male, she has started singing, and it's a similar song, but the volume is maybe like 20% of what a male can do.
Yeah, so you can't have females that will sing. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, I
oh,
knew
Mikey,
that,
come here,
but
dude.
I don't know why
Yeah, and
she had never done it before, and then she lost him, and she can see my other pair.
lots of times when the females are ready to breed and they don't have another male there, they'll kind of sing like a male to try to attract a mate. So I've got a female. Say hi, Mikey. I've got a female that will do the same thing during breeding season if I don't have a male already paired up with her. So it can kind of trigger them at times to sing, but
Okay, yeah, I
you say
figured
hi.
that's what it was, but I was like, man, she's never sung before. Dean, that's awesome. Yeah, as a general rule, your Gouldians get along with everybody. The concern is always, are the canaries going to be too mean to them? But if they have
Yeah.
plenty of room, they should be okay. Hey, you see your buddy Mikey?
You say
Look,
hi.
hi, Mikey.
You say hi.
Say hi.
Yeah, I would. Your Lady Goulians, they can get pushy if they're trying to defend a nest. But
Mhm.
that's about it. They're chasing the bird away. Very rarely have I seen them like actually attack and like grab feathers of another bird. And if
No,
they do,
yeah,
it's usually another male Goulian. It's never a different species.
right.
The canaries, on the other hand, their aggression's probably another notch above the Lady Goulian. So typically, canaries are not aggressive towards other birds. They're pretty passive, but they can during breeding season get a little pushy. So if you have a smaller cage, I would expect a little bit more pushiness. If you've got a big cage, like where they can just kind of fly around and escape each other, I wouldn't worry about it, and you'd probably be okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. And that, I mean, that I've got. He's probably somewhere. I mean, He'll be on view at some point. You'll see my big red factor male. He's a big, large canary. I'm guessing he's inside right now, but because I don't see him, and he's usually the easiest bird to find. I don't color feed, so he's orange. He's not red, but
Yeah.
he's not a problem. I did try to keep two canary pairs together, and then he was a problem.
Yes. Yeah. Your males, they'll and even your females together, if they're in breeding condition, they will fight. So your males will fight heavily. Your females will passively fight. So especially if they're
And
trying to
and
defend a certain nest.
that's most of your African species, and that extends even beyond birds, just to most African species in general. Like, there's a reason you see so many like Planet Earth documentaries about Africa
Oh
and
yeah.
those animals. Like, Africa is an intense place to live.
Yeah.
If you're an animal, it is ruthless out there. And so, even like my little tiny bronze wing mannequins, which are in here somewhere, I mean, they're like this big,
Yeah.
and they'll throw down like African birds. They're like they gotta there's no you know they're not friendly. I mean,
Yeah.
they'll get along as long as you don't bother them, but they're none of them have like a I'm trying to think, like, my starfinches are definitely more flight than fight. Like, if they get confronted, they just fly away every time.
Right.
They don't
Same.
fight.
Yeah.
None of your African species will do that. They will all fight. They're ready to
Yeah. I've
go.
I've got my orange cheek wax bill. So I have so here
Mhm.
behind me. So actually, this top cage, I've got orange cheek wax bill sitting on eggs, which is awesome. And then I've got another trio down here, and I've got both of them in with a pair of star finches each. And the orange cheeks, yeah, they'll push the stars around. They'll if they
Yeah,
get close to their nest, they'll tell them who's boss, and they're literally half their size. It's just funny, but
just a different mentality.
the House of Windsor Aviary. Thanks for joining from Canada. That's awesome. Yeah, Dean, I think
Yeah.
your aviary is big enough. I think you'd be okay. I wouldn't be too concerned with that. So, those that are on, let us know. You guys got birds breeding? Where are you at right now? I know Jay and I were. I'm kind of in the middle of breeding. I've got lots of nest boxes up. I've got tons of shaft tail babies in like 4 different nest boxes, canaries. So we're kind of getting the full swing. I did just get my watering system set up. You can kind of give you a sneak peek here. So I was going to do a video on that and kind of show you guys how how the birds get watered, and which is nice because Jay, man, saves me so much time. I legit was spending, if I'm hurrying really fast to feed and water, it's like 30 to 40 minutes to feed
Yeah,
just food and water. That's not doing anything else. And so it's taking a long time. So the watering system really helps. Now it's only like 10, 15 minutes to feed and get everyone egg food, which is really nice. But
I need that video because you know why, but I'm gonna make some changes in the near future here. So I need that video. I do think I'll still keep like my bird baths that
uh
I
huh,
have.
yeah,
Because I love the birds being able, like, I can look on the floor of the aviary on this side right now. I don't think you'll be able to see it well on camera, but it's wet, and it's
yeah,
because they were bathing today. Um, but for my main, like, you get water to drink and survive system, I wanna put in a system like that too.
yeah. No, it's nice. And yeah, for same thing out in the aviary. I've got like some bird baths that in the summertime I keep filled up every morning. It's on a watering system, so it'll turn on and kind of drain itself, and the birds will take baths there. But yeah, no, it's good. It helps save a ton of time. It's really helpful. So looking here, looks like we've got quite a few here. We
Yeah,
got
a
House
lot
of
of good
Windsor
breeding.
aviary. Got Borks with 2 eggs, zebras on eggs, some chicks have hatched. That's awesome. Dean, you've got 14 baby Goulians over the winter. That's awesome. That I man.
They're my canaries. You see them?
Oh yeah, you got a good little orange one. Is that one for me?
No, no, this guy, he's out of Florida, but that's the one I was talking about. He's quite far away. He's about 10 feet behind me. You can't he's just a big boy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I've got a
Oh,
I've got a really nice red
there
factor
were the
hen
plum heads.
sitting there.
Do you color feed, Chris?
Um so this orange and this orange here I bought this year from a
Okay.
different breeder, and he did color feed them. I do not color feed in the water. I do give carrots every day in the egg food, so that does, like, this is one of my males that you can still see he's got orange on him, but he's not as dark as he could be, or not as dark as the female. Same with
Yeah.
other. So
So
the
this
carrots
bird,
do give him the orange color, but I do not color feed the water.
yeah, this bird, he's orange from carrots too, but when I got him, well, he just flew off. But when I got him, he was dark red. I mean, dark red. And like YouTube red, and he's not now. Look at the plum heads, Einstein. Gosh, they're pretty. Any action from them so far, Chris?
No, nothing, man. My female, she's ready. I keep seeing her trying to like entice the male to breed her and things like that. She's chewed this nest box to bits, and then she has started to go in and out of this nest box. But the male just doesn't seem ready. Like I said in a couple of my videos, he had a injured toe when I first got him.
Yeah. Well, and they need the feet to grab on, But House of Windsor, yes, I am outside with Einstein. Einstein has never he is fully flighted. I'm holding on to him, but he used to be in really bad health. Do you see his feathers right here? Before I got him, he was in terrible health, and he's also never been fully flighted in his life, I don't think. So even if I were to, and I'm trying to teach him how to fly a little bit, but like the the most advanced he's gotten now is if I throw him like at waist height, he can just kind of safely land. So he can't fly. He certainly can't gain altitude, and then also my backyard has a 10-foot high fence around it. So even if he did like fly onto the ground, he can't get out. Kind of a crazy setup, but um I'm more worried about something trying to attack him than I would be about him getting away.
Yeah.
However, obviously they're not gonna do it if he's sitting in my lap. So, or at least they're not gonna succeed. I'll fight a hawk. Yeah. I'll
I don't,
I'll take some talons for my boy.
there's a video out there, and it was like a lady doing a bird show at a zoo, and she had a cockatoo. And you know how like in if you guys have ever been to bird shows, at least in the United States, they'll have like hawks or falcons like swoop down from a nest that they have up high, right, or a cage that they have them in.
Er,
And someone accidentally hit the trigger door, and so the hawk came out and swooped down, and she had to like turn and like cover up the cockatoo because the hawk was coming to get the
Yeah. Oh
cockatoo.
my
Like it
god.
was crazy. It landed on her back and it was intense. But I don't think in the wild, I your odds of that happening are pretty slim. But
No, I
uh,
mean, like I said, I mean, I would literally punch it. But uh, but no, I mean, I've heard horror stories. Like I knew someone that had a big macaw, like Candy. It was a scarlet, but same size. And they rode horses, and then the bird was free flight trained, and so they'd go for
nice.
like a trail ride on their property. They had a big like circuit, that was like a mile or two long, and the macaw would just fly along at horse speed, and one day, like in front of them, God, a big hawk came in and nailed the macaw. So I mean, it
Yeah,
can
that's
happen. I
crazy.
definitely like when I'm cleaning Einstein's cage and giving him a bath outside, I leave him in the cage with the cage shut if I'm not right there because I do worry about that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
I yeah, I don't know that the hawks are back. They're starting to breed. So I've had a few hawks coming around the aviary and trying to get the birds again. So got to
Hmm.
pull out all the tactics again to try and keep them away. But yeah, I feel you. House of Windsor Aviary. Ours is we're still pretty cold outside. We're actually today is warming up. Today was 51 degrees, and I feel like it's summertime. I've been outside doing yard work and
It is
loving it.
almost 80 here, almost 80 F here. Humidity really high. I'm actually really enjoying this breeze. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops. Uh, eat your hearts out. But in
Man,
Chris and I were talking about this the other day, though. In a few months, it'll be
yeah.
95 and 100% humidity, and y'all will be 70 and sunny, and I'll be
Uh-huh.
the one that's sucking. So it's
So
all
I
part
said
of the fun.
I like the San Diego weather. It's like 75 and sunny 80% of the year, and so I'd take that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah. We're supposed to get. It's acting like it's going to thunderstorm here, but it hasn't yet. Which this is kind of tornado weather. It's kind of scary when it gets overcast like this and it's real windy, but you're not having weather yet. That's because there's a big front pushing in, and it gets spicy around here. I always worry about the cage, but you got birds coming
yeah,
over. This bork that just landed is from you, I think, Chris. I think you send me a rainbow? I know you sent me one of my
I
normals.
did. I sent you a rainbow, and I sent you one a Lutino
Yeah,
Rubino.
the Rubino is the one that everybody always. It's the prettiest bork I've ever seen. Her name's Tammy. Tammy is inside, I believe, but I believe this is the other bork you sent me right up. I gotta adjust my
Oh
hand
yeah,
and do it backwards, but right there.
yep. Mhm.
But yeah, I love doing the. I'm glad I set out here. That was kind of a last minute decision, but all the birds are coming over to see what I'm. They kind of get over the initial. Okay, he's doing something to us, and then they want to come see what's going on.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear my orange cheek wax bill singing,
I can.
but I've got an
Uh,
extra male going to town.
how many? Oh, do you see my dove displaying right there? He just did the thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think I'm pointing at him. It's hard to
That's
tell, but he just fanned his tail. What are you doing, buddy?
well, it looks pretty good. I look instinct 245. Looks like he's got some canaries on the first round of nesting. Some zebras starting to nest slowly. That's awesome. My all of our my zebras, all of them are on eggs or have just hatched out. So about 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to have an explosion of zebra finches again. So
I'm
and
uh
tails, they're already going. So
I'm still not breeding. It's really, really painful. Um, I'm starting to worry I won't get to it all this year. In the long run, it'll be worth it. Chris knows why. I'm still not telling why. In the long run, it'll be worth it, but at this rate, I won't be able to breed for probably at least another 45 to 60 days.
Yeah.
So I may be able to just get one clutch of everybody in before October, but it's where getting real close to giving up hope. So there's one of my young spice finches on the feeder. I don't think they'll be able to see in the video, but I'm telling y'all what
They're
it is.
kind
But
of,
they're
yeah.
coloring up. They're coloring up nicely.
Nice. That's awesome.
But yeah, I've got this little setup here. I've got two chairs, one's for my wife, one's for me, and then a little coffee table. And this is my happy place when the covers are off. I can just come out here and sit and watch the birds.
Yep. That's it's my favorite thing to do. That's why I'm so excited that it's starting to warm up. I can actually go sit outside and enjoy the birds. They're all soaking up the warm sun now and hanging outside a lot more frequently, which is awesome, and it's gonna be nice. So
Yeah. All right, who's got some questions for us? Somebody ask a
yeah,
question. Put us to work.
yeah. If you guys got any questions, let us know. Happy to answer any or
Mhm.
comments or suggestions. My button quail screeching like crazy. I did hatch some button quail chicks these last 2 days, which has been fun out of the
Oh
incubator.
yeah.
But
I had um
and
I had
enjoying
a
playing.
hen sitting some eggs earlier, and those were the only ones. I was like, I'm not really gonna stop them.
I
But she stopped. It's the one that's hatched for me before though.
Let's say I do have a female right now sitting. You guys can see my nice dirty floor,
Yeah.
and I haven't cleaned just because I don't want her to jump off. But so we'll see if we'll see if she actually incubates them. She kind of does like a 5 day stint, and then she kind of jumps off for a day and then goes back on. She's not a super consistent sitter, but
Yeah, we've talked about it a million times, but there's so many generations of incubator hatch that the instincts are there, but they're just like it's like if you had an instruction manual and you only got steps 1, 2, 6, and 9 out of the
right,
10. They don't have the whole thing a lot of the time. So it's one of those things. It's like why Gouldians we need to be trying to do parent raised Gouldians so they don't lose that ability.
yeah, I agree. We've got a whole bunch of. You guys can see my male canary up there. He's feeding the female so she can get ready to feed the chicks. Oh yeah, hi buddy. Are you gonna start whistling to me, huh?
Say hello, hello.
Hello.
I wish I could get Einstein to talk on a podcast. Okay,
Can you see?
Dean, what are your thoughts on putting a nest pan in my aviary inside, or will the Gouldians cause the canaries an issue? Better to cage breed canaries? Chris, you answer that, and then I'll give my
Yeah.
2 cents.
Um, the good thing is Goulians prefer a nest box over a nest pan. So if you have enough nest boxes available, your Lady Goulians will choose that before a nest pan anytime. So my guess would be you're okay breeding them together. They may jump on and inspect the nest and whatnot, but if you've got enough other options out there that they would prefer, I think you'd be totally fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I also think just like what we talked about earlier, in general, the um the canaries will probably put a whooping on a Gouldian that if it bothers them. So
Yeah.
I think you're pretty okay in that direction.
Jay, this is your mail that you sent me.
Oh, there you go. I
Oh,
think
he just flew back
he's
in, but
hand fed, isn't he?
yeah, he'll come and
Yeah.
fly and land on my head quite a bit.
Yeah. So then that's one of these birds out here. I think it's this close one. Is his brother?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Anybody on that breeds blue-faced parrot finches? I'd love your expertise. I did actually, Jay. I did have a pair that nested for me. They nested up in this top nest box, but the eggs weren't fertile, unfortunately. And they sat better this year. Last year, I had them lay a couple times for me, but they were super skittish and didn't sit very good. This last round, they sat great, but the eggs weren't fertile. I actually tossed the eggs just the other day, but
They're really prone to that from just being a little bit fat, like even a little bit fat. But you need to give them those mason jar nests, man. I'm telling you
yeah, I do have. I
that.
still have quite a few of those. I need to pull them out.
Mhm.
I haven't done any nests out in the aviary yet, just because it still is pretty cold.
Yeah,
Um, and I've tried to hold off. Usually, once we hit like Mother's Day, then we typically we don't usually have like night frosts after that. Once we've hit that point, then I feel comfortable enough to throw
yeah.
some nest boxes outside. But
Still hard though, because remember they're the ones that just like the Gouldians, their chicks are born naked and they stop incubating or brooding at day 10. So I've lost blue faces on day 10 because they don't get their feathers don't like deploy until like day 12. So you have that weird little window. And that's the way I've overcome that is literally just running a space heater underneath that nest at night. But if it gets below like 73, 74 at night, they'll die. Mhm. Um, River, yeah, I mean, so there's going to be a couple things that spring to my mind. The first one would just be inexperience. Gouldians, especially if they haven't done it before, it typically takes them a little bit longer than some of the other species to figure out how to let's call it score the goal. Um, so that could be a factor. Another factor, Gouldians are closely related to the parrot finches. And so a lot of the things we were just talking about kind of apply to them too. They are pretty prone, they can be prone to like obesity related inefficiency. And then, if it's not those two things, then I would just say like they're, uncomfortable maybe in the environment. But if they're laying eggs, then that's probably not the case. So I would say it's either inexperience or obesity. But what do you think, Chris?
yeah, I'd say the only thing I would add to Lady Goulians, they're similar to canaries. They depend heavily on their annual molts, and going through the actual cycle of spring, winter, fall, summer, just to help prepare them and bring them into breeding conditions. So if you've got a pair of Lady Goulians, they bred really well for you, and then the next year they didn't go through a full molt, that can also affect fertility, and it's mostly in the males, right? If your females are laying eggs, they're probably ready enough for breeding. But if your males haven't molted and they're not mounting your females, etc., and so making sure that you're trying to stick to a cadence and a schedule as best as you can throughout the year to bring them into breeding condition and then fully take them out of breeding condition and then bring them back in, that will dramatically help increase your fertility rates, because then your birds are ready to breed, on top of everything else that you had mentioned as well, Jay.
Yeah, and we've got some previous podcast episodes specifically about breeding Gouldians and then getting birds into breeding condition that are worth your time, River. I've got a male up here. I don't think you'll be able to see clearly which bird, but right there singing right now, and that's always a good indication for male Gouldians if they're in breeding condition. Their song is not loud, but it's very visible. They
Yeah.
get up like this and have like a very formal dance that they do.
Yeah.
So if you're not seeing that, then he's not ready. Um,
Right.
House of Windsor, what's the next species you'd like to acquire? Amadinas are awesome. I've got a mail in here from Chris. He's on this branch right now with a bunch of birds. He's real ready. He's actually singing as we speak. Um,
and a female to come. So
Female coming from Chris here shortly. So highly recommend them. I'm gonna throw a curveball here. The next species I'm planning on acquiring, which I already have like 21 or 22 species. I've lost count. But um, I want gray peacock pheasants
yeah,
real bad, real bad, which are not a finch. They're not even remotely close to a finch. They're like a Einstein-sized, really pretty bird. But like I said, some future plans coming where I'd be able to accommodate them, and they're so freaking pretty. So that's going to be my next species acquisition. I do have a new, as does Chris, have a new color morph of diamond doves. I won't give it away more
yes.
than that, but I am about to this week expand my diamond dove collection. But it won't be. That's not a new species for me, obviously. There's some Amandinas.
Male.
Uh-huh.
So anybody that's watching has any Amadinas, I will, and live in the U.S. I'll do some trades with you. But yeah, I had two Amadinas come out. House of Windsor Amadinas are awesome. I actually really like them. They can fall into the gray bird syndrome, right? Because they are mostly gray and browns. But I do have. Let me close this door. I got to get my button quill in. Every time I open my door, my button quill like to come out. There's a few mutations of Amadina that really are beautiful. Here's a young one. Here's the female that's going to J, and then the male down there. It's kind of a light gray. So there's some really cool mutations of Amidinas all the way up to the white bodied with red heads. So those ones are really fun. I did just get so my brother Bob. He also instead of the red tail, it's orange tail, and then
Oh, cool.
also the white bloodline. So I can get fawns and silvers. I can't remember exactly the name of the mutation, but they're the all white diamonds, which are awesome. So
Yeah,
really
that is
excited for
cool.
that, potentially getting those. But um, I think so. My next species that I'm looking for is will be the, and I always say it wrong, the row quail, or the
Rule.
crested partridge.
Yeah,
It's
the
called the
rule. I think is what they're. It's
rule.
so hard to say. I
Yeah.
have like a just the wrong speech impediment to be able to say that.
So they're kind of they're like a tropical rainforest type quail. They're beautiful. The males are kind of like a dark green, and then they've got this,
Yeah.
and they're kind of a harder species to breed and really expensive. The cheapest that Jay and I have found are like $500 a pair, and those were related. So
Mhm.
you're looking usually like $600 and above for a breeding pair. So kind of hard to come by. So if anybody has any good connections that could give me a good price, I'm happy to trade some birds for them. But I don't know if I'm willing to fork out that much money quite yet. But that's the top bird on my bucket list to get next, and kind of have them. They are a ground dwelling bird, so I'd have to, put my button quails in one aviary and the partridges in the other, just to make sure they don't fight or anything like that. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
might be
that's what I'm
okay.
looking
They're
for
so
next.
different. They might be okay because I don't think the rolls are aggressive, but the button quail are, but they're
Yeah.
much smaller. I think the rolls are technically a partridge. So all you need is a pear tree, and you can start the 12 days of Christmas. Yeah, the peacock pheasants are awesome. They're expensive too. Thanks, Einstein,
Yeah.
for eating off of me. Um, but they're like $800 ish a pair and up. But what my wife doesn't know can't hurt me, and she probably won't watch this. So you know. Lock me up.
Yeah, that'd be really cool to. So Jay, so yesterday we went to Tracy's Aviary. So it's a huge bird sanctuary per se here in Utah. So if anybody ever visits Utah and you love to see birds, Tracy's Aviary is such an awesome place. They do a good job. They specialize on very unique birds. So it's not your typical bird sanctuary where you're going to go and see a bunch of lady goulians flying around or canaries. They're very like rare. Everything from vultures, raptors, all the way down to they had a couple pairs of red siskins in there, which was really cool. I'd never seen siskins in real life until yesterday, which was awesome. Didn't even know you guys are over there, really cool. But they have awesome planted aviaries that look beautiful. It's kind of a dream goal of mine to have aviaries similar to that. And if I ever had something like that, the peacock pheasants that Jay wants, the gray peacock pheasants, would be perfect to like fit in these environments. Most of their big and they're huge aviaries, right? I mean, 20+ feet in all directions, and they usually have the top dwelling birds, the middle dwelling birds, and a ground dwelling bird in each aviary. They've done a really good job to kind of cover the space in there, and they had quite a few different types of like super rare pheasants and quails and things like that in multiple different aviaries, which was really fun. That you really don't see anywhere else, and especially you don't see those in like your everyday bird keeping agriculture. So it was really cool. So if you guys ever come to Utah, let me know. We'll go hit up Tracy's aviary together because it was a awesome experience. They got some really cool birds to go see, but Jay's pheasants would be perfect in those environments.
Yeah, I want them real bad. I'm excited about it. I just got to get some stuff figured out first.
Okay, well, I think we're getting close to wrapping things up. We're thanks to those for joining us. We wanted to do a quick live. I guess it wasn't quick. 41 minutes of live. Thanks to those that hung in there with us. Thanks to those that dropped in comments. Uh, Probably do a shout out, Jay. We probably need to do a shout out to our sponsor. Let me show you clear up here. We've got New Zealand. That looks backwards on my end. Hopefully, you guys see it as forward writing. That is New
No.
Zealand. No, that did not help at all. But if you guys haven't, go out to New Zealand, try out some of their products, get the Perch Box, which I just had up there. You got some cool different toys and food products, everything you can think of that can come with those. It's really fun. They're doing a really good job at trying to bring in a big variety for all of your birds, big and small. So check out New Zealand and get some of their products.
Use code BirdBrains, 10% off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well,
Appreciate you
thanks,
guys.
y'all.
We'll
Yeah.
see you next time.
See you soon.